This is United Network News with Sunny Galt, Calen, Kimberly Gogan, and our field messengers from around the world. Here's today's real news.
Finding a place to live can be tough, especially with rising rents and unclear rules for tenants. Many renters in the United Kingdom face challenges like sudden evictions or unsafe living conditions, leaving them feeling vulnerable. However, a new bill called the Renters' Right Bill aims to tackle these issues, giving tenants stronger protections and more security in their homes.
According to the online British newspaper, The Independent, more than 26,000 tenants in England have faced no-fault evictions since the government promised to ban them in 2019. New data from the Ministry of Justice shows landlords started more than 30,000 of these eviction cases in 2023, a 28% jump in just 1 year. Charities warn the no-fault evictions are a key driver of rising homelessness, giving renters little time to find a new home. In 2023, England lost 12,000 social homes. More than 22,000 were sold or demolished, but only 9,500 were built to replace them. At the same time, 1.28 million households are still stuck on the waiting list for social housing, according to the charity Crisis. Introduced on September 11th, 2024, the Renters' Rights Bill is a big step toward changing rental laws, aiming to boost tenant protections and shake up landlord responsibilities.
A new draft bill reforming renters' rights has been introduced in the UK Parliament. So what would the changes mean for you? If approved, the bill would introduce a range of measures aimed at balancing the scales between tenants and landlords as the government pledges to clean up the mess they say was left in the rental market by the Conservatives. A key change in the draft bill is the banning of no-fault evictions, something the Tories tried to get through, but they couldn't get over the line before the election. A no-fault eviction is when a landlord can evict a tenant without giving a reason, as long as they follow a legal process. It means tenants who have not breached their contract and want to stay in their home can be told to leave as long as 2 months of notice is given. If the tenant doesn't leave, the landlord can then apply to the court for a possession order. The government says banning these types of evictions will push out bad landlords and give good ones robust grounds to take back their properties when they need to. The bill also includes changes such as giving tenants the right to request a pet, which landlords cannot unreasonably refuse. It would also mean a WABS law would be extended to the private sector, forcing landlords to fix damp and mould within a specified time frame. Blanket bans on tenants with children or those on benefits would also be banned, helping the 1 in 5 families in England currently unable to rent because they have children.
The Rental Rights Bill is backed by many, including the Law Society, the independent body for solicitors in England and Wales. They're especially supportive of moves to end no-fault evictions and ban bidding wars between tenants. However, they are raising a concern. Without proper funding for the justice system, this could lead to more legal disputes. They're calling for clearer rights for renters while ensuring landlords can fairly repossess properties, as the current underfunded court system may struggle to handle the increased demand from contested evictions. The Law Society is urging the government to invest in legal aid and court resources to ensure these reforms work for both renters and landlords. The bill introduces new rules to make renting fair. Landlords can only raise rent once a year, and it has to match market rates. No more sudden price hikes. Also, rental bidding wars are officially off the table. Landlords have to stick to a clear asking price so tenants get a fair shot at finding a home. While these changes aim to level the playing field, others hold a differing perspective.
Harry, what's going to be the impact of the proposed rent caps in the Renters' Rights Bill?
Higher rents. And you're thinking, what do you mean? They're not capping what a landlord can ask for a property. They're capping, or they're not allowing landlords to accept bidding wars and over asking price offers. So guess what's going to happen? Landlords and letting agents are just going to increase the initial asking price in the first place. If you can't take over asking price offers, the next best thing is to put it as high as possible and take an under asking price offer.
The new bill has landlords divided. Many already provide safe homes, but some worry it'll make property management tougher. The National Residential Landlords Association is pushing for a faster court system to handle disputes and evictions, fearing delays under the new rules. Meanwhile, tenant groups see the reforms as a win, bringing fairness and security to renters, especially in competitive areas.
If you haven't heard, in 2025, the government passed this new bill, which is going to affect the lettings industry in the UK massively. So let me give you a positive on the Renters' Rights Bill. No fixed term tenancies. Now, a lot of people think that this is a negative thing. I don't think so. Tenancies that are flexible means that your tenant can just leave. But realistically, how many tenants are going to leave once they've moved all their furniture into a property? A lot of agents are saying to landlords, your tenant could leave up to 4 times per year. Realistically, I don't think that's going to happen. If you moved into a property, would you realistically move after 6 months? There'd have to be a real reason to move if the tenant wasn't happy with something. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Let's go on to the negatives. No more Section 21s. Now, this is a bit of a kick in the nuts for landlords. Let's be honest. It's the quickest way to deal with a headache tenant. It's more important than ever to get a no headache tenant into your property. Fail to prepare to fail is the saying. Another positive is the highest rent since 2022. There's been a mass exodus of landlords selling up. Now, not quite Moses parting the Red Sea, but this means there are less properties to choose from tenants. And that means there's an issue between supply and demand. When more landlords leave in the market, it means that your rents are going to be easier. Your properties are going to be easier to rent out and your rents are going to go through the roof. Another positive, it's more red tape and more legislation, which means there's a high barrier to entry. The stamp duty going up to 5% as well, meaning there's less new landlords coming to the market. So if you hold in there, you're into a winning formula.
The bill faces more scrutiny in the committee stage before moving forward. If all goes to plan, these changes could become law by summer 2025, transforming rental agreements and rights across the United Kingdom.
In the Netherlands, you can build a sustainable natural home using clay, straw and wood without needing a mortgage. UNN Field Messenger Johan Pieter shows us how it's done.
Hello, I'm Johan Peter, Field Messenger for UNN. 10/10/2033. We are here in Holland, in Calen, that's in the middle of Holland, and we are building from straw and clay and a little wood. We are building self-sustainable houses, the walls from houses, in a way that everyone can buy his own house with a group of people, without having a mortgage, without much costs, with local material. So the clay is from the ground, the wood is from some trees in the neighborhood, and the straw we collected here on the land on this farm. We are learning this principle, how to build earthquake-proof, ecological, and a storm-proof tiny house with 6 corners, so not round but with 6 corners, a hexagon, from the concept from Tom Rijven. And he is also here with us, and Hugo is one of the teachers, the trainers. You can find it on habitatvegetal.com. Yeah, well, what can we say? In 1 week we can build a house with 12 people, which can, as long as you take care that water cannot come from inside or from downside, it can last for at least 100 years. And it costs almost nothing. Okay, God bless.
The moringa tree, also known as the miracle tree, is packed with nutrients in its leaves, seeds, and oil. It offers health benefits like antioxidants, anti-inflammatory effects, and essential nutrients for overall well-being. UNN Field Messenger Emma shows us how she prepares moringa leaf powder.
Hi, this is Emma reporting for UNN from Fuerteventura. This time I'm reporting from our garden, and right behind me we have a moringa tree. I believe it came from Africa because it's very common in Africa. They call it never die, and it's because it has like a lump root that contains water whenever there is water. So it's very popular among the birds. They love it. And it's also called the vitamin tree. These are moringa leaves from the garden that I have dried. And can you see? This is dried moringa leaves. And I put them into a coffee grounder. Put the lid on. And then they turned into powder, the same as I have here. And I put the powder like this. And this is what it looks like, turned into a fine powder. I then put it into a tight container, a jar, like this. And then I have moringa powder that I can put into my smoothies, my food, even my coffee. And it's called the vitamin tree. So this moringa has all the vitamins that you need. So thank you for watching.
Raw milk and dairy products are making a comeback, and there's plenty of debate around them. Some people swear by the health perks, while others caution against the risks. If you're thinking about giving raw dairy a try, it's good to know both the upsides and the potential downsides before diving in. Since 2020, raw dairy has seen a surge in popularity, fueled by health trends, distrust of big food and government regulations, and a growing countercultural movement. Many see it as a nutrient-dense, natural alternative to processed dairy, while others embrace it as a symbol of food freedom and self-sufficiency. The pandemic amplified interest, with supply chain issues pushing people toward local farms, and social media influencers hyping its health benefits.
This is why you should be drinking raw milk. Let's start with the benefits. Consumption of raw milk in kids who grow up on or off farms leads to lower rates of asthma, eczema, and allergies in adulthood. Raw milk has been associated with beneficial changes in the gut microbiome, including increased levels of lactobacillus. And raw milk also contains the highest levels of MSM, a compound studied and found to improve joint health. Interestingly, in studies looking at raw milk consumption, it's been found to be as effective as breastfeeding in reducing respiratory tract infections in kids. Raw milk also contains multiple factors, lactoferrin, lysozyme, lactoperoxidase, immunoglobulins, which are protective and prevent the overgrowth of pathogenic bacteria in the raw milk. Raw milk also contains over 700 species of commensal bacteria in the actual raw milk fluids. There are multiple ways to drink raw milk. Even if you're lactose intolerant, you can do kefir, which is a fermented raw milk. You can do raw cheese or raw butter. No matter how you get it, getting raw milk, raw dairy in your diet is definitely going to improve your health.
The biggest difference between raw and regular milk is how they're processed. Raw milk comes straight from the animal. No heat, no processing, just as nature made it. Regular milk, on the other hand, that you'd see at the stores, that goes through pasteurization, a heating process that kills off bacteria. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, before widespread pasteurization, milk was responsible for a quarter of all food and waterborne disease outbreaks. But that's not the whole story. The pasteurization process was developed by French chemist and biologist Louis Pasteur in the 1800s during the Industrial Revolution. At the time, cities were expanding and the need for dairy products was quickly increasing. More cows were contained in smaller spaces, often in unsanitary conditions. Disease and infection were rampant, which led to bacterial contamination and inferior milk. Instead of improving the cows' living conditions, they introduced the public to pasteurization, which also increased the milk's shelf life and made it cheaper to produce. But at what cost?
I actually think pasteurized dairy is not good food.
Interesting.
I think
That's a controversial statement. But why? It's just dairy that's been heated.
Yeah, and all the microbiology that's in it that's made for you to be able to process it has been killed. The microbiology in raw milk is 94% compatible with your gut biome. Like people are doing raw milk cleanses right now to reset the people that weren't breastfed and maybe don't have certain microbiology because their mom didn't, they were C-section or their mom didn't breastfeed them or whatever, to reset their microbiology. And so I'm not saying it's not calories and protein. I'm saying the microbiology in it, when it's raw, is the perfect microbiology to feed the microbiology in your gut to have your body process it. And I'm saying that lactose intolerance is a reaction to processing milk.
A quick online search will show you plenty of studies and reports saying the opposite. The Centers for Disease Control considers raw milk one of the riskiest foods because it's so prone to contamination, with multiple outbreaks linked to its consumption. The Food and Drug Administration also warns raw milk can carry dangerous bacteria like Salmonella, E. coli, and Listeria, which can cause serious illness. While bacteria are the usual culprits behind foodborne illnesses in milk, viruses are also a growing concern. With the H5N1 bird flu reportedly spreading to dairy cows, public health experts are warning raw milk could pose a real risk for human infection. In fact, in late 2024, California officials recalled raw milk from 2 major farms after detecting the virus in their milk tanks.
Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this at all. There are going to be some risks with raw milk. Here's a study from 2017 that showed that there are about 9.4 million people consuming raw milk in the U.S. on an annual basis. And each year, about 760 people are getting sick from raw milk, and about 22 people are being hospitalized as a result of their illness. Also, raw milk accounts for 95% of all milk-related illnesses. And based on data collected from the years 1993 to 2012, there were 2 deaths related to raw milk consumption. So that doesn't sound that great, right? Well, maybe, but if you want to compare it to illnesses related to leafy greens, which we're all told are some of the healthiest foods a person can eat, how many people do you think are getting sick from those each year? 1,000 people? 5,000? 15,000 people? Well, there could be as many as 2,307,558 annual illnesses in the U.S. with an economic cost of $5.278 billion.
Raw milk laws are all over the place. In places like the UK, France, and Switzerland, raw milk is legal but tightly regulated. In the U.S., some states like California allow it with strict rules, while others like Alabama, Florida, and New Jersey ban it completely. If you're wondering where you can actually buy raw milk in the U.S., head over to rawmilk.com for a handy map of legal sources in each state.
Step into a world of possibilities with New Earth, a groundbreaking series that shines light on holistic ways to live, work, and thrive. Join us weekly to discover new innovative ideas and explore the world around us as we, together, create our future, our New Earth.
Esports, or competitive video gaming, has become a global phenomenon that's impossible to ignore. In recent years, esports has exploded, with major tournaments offering big cash prizes and a growing fan base worldwide. However, like any rapidly growing industry, esports comes with advantages and challenges.
Esports, short for electronic sports, started with small local tournaments, but exploded globally thanks to the internet. According to Statista, the global esports market is now worth $2.4 billion. Today, tournaments like the International and the LOL World Championship offer huge prize pools and packed arenas. It's all about strategy, teamwork, and quick thinking, where pro gamers mix fast reflexes with smart moves to stay ahead. Esports isn't just about gaming. It's opened up careers like coaching, analytics, marketing, and content creation. Mainstream media has boosted esports by airing tournaments on platforms like ESPN, YouTube, and Twitch. Partnerships with leagues like the NBA are bridging digital and traditional sports. Esports can also be a powerful tool in education.
Esports offers a unique platform for fostering inclusion, promoting social skills, and nurturing essential life skills. A study conducted by Villanova University found that esports participation significantly improves students' communication, teamwork, and problem-solving abilities. Esports seamlessly integrates into school curriculums to enhance the STEM education. Students engage in coding, game design, and analysis, developing a deeper understanding of technology and its applications. A recent survey revealed that 86% of teachers believe that esports can improve students' STEM literacy. Esports also play a crucial role in preparing students for college and careers. Students involved in esports demonstrate increased motivation and academic engagement, leading to higher GPAs and a stronger desire to pursue higher education.
Esports degrees are also becoming more popular, giving students a way to break into the world of competitive gaming and the industries around it. From shoutcasting to video editing, some programs focus on industry-specific skills, while others blend esports with traditional studies. Esports scholarships are helping students use their gaming talent to pay for college. More than 200 universities in the United States have esports programs listed with the nonprofit National Association of Collegiate Esports, though not all offer scholarships. Organizations like this ensure esports programs are credible, making gaming a valid career path. For younger gamers, the High School Esports League, or HSEL, allows middle and high schoolers to compete and earn scholarships. According to their website, HSEL Nationals has already helped students access more than $700,000 in scholarships. Here's a bit more about esports and how it benefits students in school.
So in terms of raw numbers, I've had a good percentage of students bring their grades up because I use it as an incentive to kind of have them participate, and that's been a good driver for a lot of them. But also qualitatively, I've seen a lot of students find a sense of belonging, and for them, it's also nice to see this hobby of theirs that most people would not value to be valued by an adult, and a lot of them really enjoy that. They feel like they belong much more at the school as a result. We're talking about students who don't usually show their learning through writing, through speaking, but a lot of them are able to do so through, video games. They're able to cooperate, they're able to create strategies and just work together a lot better in that video game environment.
Esports degrees are an exciting idea, but they're not without challenges. Critics often highlight the lack of specialized lecturers and standardized qualifications, which could leave students feeling unprepared for the job market. With issues like job cuts at major companies and the growing presence of AI, some question whether these degrees can support long-term careers. Plus, the narrow focus of esports programs might limit career opportunities outside of the gaming industry. Also, excessive esports gaming can negatively impact both physical and mental health, as shown by a 2020 study in the Industrial Psychiatry Journal. Physically, Gamers may deal with eye strain, back pain, headaches, wrist pain, and poor posture. And on the mental side, problems like depression, anxiety, sleep issues, aggression, and social difficulties are common. Long hours of gaming have also been linked to conditions like ADHD, social phobia, and even gaming addiction.
You can even see this with video games. People will play a video game, they love it, it's super exciting to them, and then they'll keep playing and playing and playing, and either one of two things happens, typically both. First of all, I always say addiction is a progressive narrowing of the things that bring you pleasure. So oftentimes what will happen is the person only has excitement and can achieve dopamine release to the same extent doing that behavior and not other behaviors. And so they start losing interest in school, they start losing interest in relationships, they start losing interest in fitness and well-being, and depletes their life. And eventually what typically happens is they will stop getting dopamine release from that activity as well, and then they drop into a pretty serious depression. And this can get very severe, and people have committed suicide from these sorts of patterns of activity.
Esports continues to grow in popularity among younger players, with age restrictions varying by league. For example, the Overwatch League requires players to be 18 or older, while the Super League only allows gamers 6 to 16 years old. Other leagues set their own age limits based on the games they play, so there's no one-size-fits-all rule. However, with more and more young players playing esports, it's important to address concerns about their overall well-being and ensure proper support systems are in place.
The Flame Tree Personal Development and Healing course helps you get to the root of your problems using a mix of science and energy-based techniques. UNN Field Messenger Clive interviews the creator of the course.
G'day viewers, this is Clive, your roving reporter for United Network News. And today I'm down in Melbourne, that's the bottom part of Australia. What I'm doing down here is I'm updating my skills in an amazing course. It's called Flame Tree Personal Development and Healing course. Essentially what it does is it gets to the root cause of the disease or the problem and then helps us find a way out. Basically how it works, it was put together by a good friend of mine. He's a scientist, he's spent many years doing Chinese medicine, and he's also got about 3 foolscap pages of other modalities. He's managed to put all the energetics of all those modalities into one, and basically a system that works. In simplified form, we use a myocyte tendon reflex. That's the one where, you know, the doctor puts you on the bench and he taps your knee and then your leg flicks up and kicks him across the room. That's the one. How it works is basically we get a yes-no response. Okay, and then we just follow a flow chart. So we start off with spiritual, energetic, goes all the way down to physical, all the frequencies of the body. We then follow that chart and we come up with items. What those items mean is that we can put them all together. It can create a story, or it basically tells us what's going on the mind-body complex. It also gives us the best possible solution to removing blockages or whatever's come up for the client. Now that could also mean going to other modalities. So the system doesn't actually take away the other modalities. It actually provides like a mapping system to get to the root cause. Now for the last 15 years I've been beta testing it. It works. I get amazing results, and I know you can too if you want to have a go at it. So I'll introduce you to the guy that put it all together, Rhett Ogston.
Hi, Clive.
Thank you for allowing me the time to interview you. You spent a lot of time studying and putting all these modalities, and probably the last 20 years of your life putting all this system together. What inspired you to do that?
Well, firstly, I was always great at science at high school, so I wanted to learn everything about everything in the universe and put everything together and see how everything worked. In doing so, along healthcare, I was looking at systems and wondering why they didn't work. Or, you know, when you learn other things, they'll say that you can have one thing's connected to another thing, and the stress from that is what causes the pathology for a person. I thought, well, if we got rid of the first thing, then everything else would just stop being a problem. So the answer then became, what is it that you have to neutralize so that when you neutralize it, there is no pathology in the body, whether that's a limiting belief system. So with Flame Tree, people don't have to be sick to get results. You can be perfectly healthy, but you can optimize yourself, whether that's a limiting belief, an emotionally charged memory that's stuck in your neurology somewhere, an entrenched emotion in some fascia, whatever it is, at whatever frequency. So the driving force behind it was, how can we heal and how can we personally develop in the most optimal, fastest and easiest way? And Flame Tree is the answer to that question.
Excellent. Now you're going to be running some courses again next year, which can be done by Zoom or actually turning up here in Melbourne. Is there any prerequisites to being able to, or benefits or anything like that, to be able to doing this course?
The only prerequisite is a thirst to learn. If you're ready to learn probably the most advanced and comprehensive system in the world for personal development and healing, then you're already qualified to come down and learn.
Thank you very much, Rhett, for allowing me the time to interview you. And this is Clive, your raving reporter, signing off for Uniting Network News. Thank you.
Are you ready to change the world? Take the next step and join our weekly Field Messenger meetings. Learn more at unitednetwork.earth. I am United Network News, and so are you.